everybody. Welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking to Jonathan Orpin. Jonathan, it's great to see you. Thanks for being on the show. Founder and CEO of New Energy Works, pioneer Millworks. You're a lifelong entrepreneur and sustainability advocate who founded two successful eco-friendly companies in the design, build, and manufacturing industry space, New Energy Works and Pioneer Millworks. So let's talk, Jonathan, about what you're a lifelong entrepreneur. Let's talk about the entrepreneur of today. We're recording this in 2025. What is the entrepreneur coming out of college or 4 or 5 years out of college look like today?
As different as they did when I started. Entrepreneurs come in all shapes and sizes, colors and attributes and goals. So I'm not sure I can answer that question, John, but I mean, I can try. I will say that
your audio is off a little bit, Jonathan. There.
How about now?
Not great. It was better, but whatever, something changed. Well, let me ask the question a different way. What does it take to be an entrepreneur today?
So there are different kinds of entrepreneurs, as I've discovered over time. There are people like me who tend to be the sheriff, the cowboy, the just get her done kind of people. I give out stickers to people in my company that says the Get Shit Done Club. And so when they're really just getting a bunch of stuff done, I give them a sticker, and it's always fun episode. But I tend to be, again, as I say, more the cowboy and just go for it kind of an entrepreneur. And that in some ways is a classic style. And I'm not sure that it's the best style. I frankly don't think it is, but it is what I am and who I am. The other type of an entrepreneur is the one who's very careful, plotting, thoughtful, and gets it all in a row before they start. I think we're seeing more and more of that. We're seeing less of my style and more of that very careful entrepreneur. Not entirely, but we are seeing some of that. So I think there's two different branches of the world of entrepreneurs.
Hey, Jonathan, can you fix your audio? It's different from when we started. I'm not really sure what happened.
I'm not sure. When you say audio, do you mean the verbal, what you're hearing? Or
you're kind of distant and echoey a little bit.
Sorry, I haven't really done anything different.
No worries. Maybe if you can talk closer to your computer, maybe.
All right. How about this? If I talk closer to my computer, will it become better?
Yeah, that's better. So you were saying, so I missed a little bit about what you said as far as the entrepreneur of today is. What were you saying? If you can kind of highlight something.
Yeah, so sure. I think there are two different kinds of entrepreneurs. Some, like myself, tend to be the more cowboy, just go for it, and sometimes leap before we look. I was recently given a T-shirt that said "Fire, Ready, Aim" on it, and that's one type of an entrepreneur. Another type is the more careful, plotting, thoughtful, backroom, I call it, entrepreneur who figures it all out ahead of time and then launches. They're very two different styles, and I don't think one is necessarily better. If I was to do it again, I might be less of a cowboy than I have been over the years.
Yeah. What do you think? I think the entrepreneur of today needs to be patient but move fast. Right, not rush, but move fast, and so,
Always.
I mean, it's just things move so quickly today. Can you kind of chat about that?
Sure. Just recently, for instance, we hired a new operations manager in one of the departments, and he on his resume said that in his previous job he had hired 65 people in 4 months. I said, I'm not sure I can even talk to 65 people in 4 months. And he said, you have to be ready, you got to snap your fingers, and you got to know, because if the right person comes in the door and you don't move quickly, you're going to lose that person.
Yeah.
So so I'm learning all the time. And the next day I hired somebody right away. So sometimes you got to just move fast.
It's interesting. One of the things I've been hearing on that comment is that people are starting to get feel like they're getting much better and more driven recruits as they recruit. There seems to be kind of this post-COVID really difficult to find great people to hire. I'm hearing for some reason right now from multiple people that people applying for jobs are coming to the table more so than they have in the past. They're driven, they're hungry, they're ready to work, and they're getting more applicants now than they've seen in the last couple of years.
100%. And being specific, it's the last couple of years. So 2 years ago, we used to laugh and say if a person came in the door with a pulse, we might offer them the job.
Yeah.
Right now, we're getting inundated with good resumes. We had to replace our controller recently, and we already within a week and a half have 2 finalists, and we will put an offer in tomorrow. If you had told me a year and a half ago that we would have been able to pull this off in a week and a half, I would have thought you perhaps wrong.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, and we're saying the same thing in the trades as well, although the trades continue to suffer from a general lack of skilled tradespeople, and that's still scary. But there are more people coming onto the jobs, and I think there's a couple of reasons for this. One is the general post-COVID morbidity is done. People are coming back in, but also, and more worrisome, might be that there's a downturn in some of the industries, and therefore more people available.
But I would think, Jonathan, that the price of college is so expensive today. You can go to trade school and you can learn a craft that is seems to be in such high demand and has such long-term high demand, something that ChatGPT cannot do. Fix a roof, fix your plumbing, change your furnace. I mean, there seem to be a lot. I mean, we could go on and on about the trades, but I would think that as we continue to move forward, the trades will be very appealing to many people.
Well, John, you just made my day. Hopefully, you're right.
I think so.
Unfortunately, though, there's a long-term stigma with the trades that has built up over the last 50 years or so. And suddenly, everybody has to be white collar selling insurance or stocks. And I do agree with you that is shifting. Hopefully, it shifts fast enough. But that's what we saw. We saw a lessening. We saw a departure from supporting shop class in high school. Go find yourself a high school shop class these days. It is not easy.
But it's amazing because to me, the market is so ripe for people in the trade. I don't know much about trade schools, but if they're like other schools, I can't speak for trade schools, but I feel like school doesn't necessarily get you ready for business, right? I mean, unless you're taking an entrepreneurial class or this, but even so, some are taught by people who've never actually worked, teaching theory. And I think a lot of people come out of medical school and law school, and they don't know how to start or run a business. And so, if the trade schools can teach the trade and how to start and run a business and scale and grow a business, I mean, those are skills that are in high demand. And I think could be great. I hope this stigma goes away, because I know there is a little bit of that stigma of some people. I know I can point to a handful of people that are great at trades, wanted to do trades, but felt they had to go to college. But hopefully that stigma goes away.
Yeah, I think it probably will to some extent, but not entirely.
Yeah.
And you made an interesting point about trade schools also teaching business. I don't believe they do. I'm not totally sure that I agree with you, because what we really need is people who are willing to and excited about turning a wrench or swinging the proverbial hammer. We don't need everybody starting their own business. At some point, we just need some people to get some jobs done. And not everybody's also cut out for running their own business. It's a Dickens. And it can be really hard time after time. And we can sacrifice a lot ideally, maybe you get a little back, but not always.
But I think,
So,
but I think the option should be there. I think I would like to
it's
see
an
the option
interesting idea.
there. Yeah, I mean, the trade school should hire you and I to teach some classes because sometimes they just you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So so let's talk about you. You're a lifelong entrepreneur, as we talked about, sustainability advocate, who's founded multiple companies in the design and build and manufacturing industries. So let's talk about just building in general right now. Costs have been through the roof for building over the last handful of years. Sustainability, I would think, would even be a higher ticket price. But the work that you do is beautiful. So just kind of talk about, what you're doing and how you're getting it done.
Yeah, so for me, one of the reasons I'm in business is because I believe in business as a really strong opportunity for social or ecological change. Business is such a powerful tool. You know this better than I as a business coach. And yet, too often, business is only about basically increasing the wealth of ownership or shareholders and forgetting that I actually have a bigger opportunity, which is to create jobs for good people, which is to create a better community around them, to do, in our case, build homes that we can be proud of from an ecological standpoint, both the operational costs of those buildings, but also the building costs of those buildings. Every time you build a house, you take out 6 acres of trees, for instance. Well, do you want to do that every 20 years or every 200 years?
Yeah.
As an example. So for us, we really like what we call and what is called the triple bottom line approach to business, as opposed to just only the bottom line of profit. So for us, we try to look at people, and that people can be your coworkers, your clients, your suppliers, your partners, your subcontractors, but also your community, your church, or your school, or the town, and even the whole darn planet, which brings us to the second filter, which is the planet. It's the only one we've got. We should be doing well. All of our decisions should be made with that in mind. But to do these first two, you've got to be able to make a profit. So people, planet, and profit is our triple bottom line approach. And we've been that way since the beginning, though we didn't know the phrase until it was kind of coined in the 1990s sometime. We said, yeah, that's us. How fun. Yeah. And so one of the things you talked about earlier about people coming in the door wanting to work, people are coming into our door because they want to work for a company like ours, a company that has a bigger vision, that's not just giving them a hard task to do for the sake of the owner's third home in Florida or something. So that sort of mission-driven business, I think, is a real good lesson for all of your people, John. To understand that people want to work for a place that they want to work for. Yeah, and that's helpful for us.
Yeah, alignment, I think, is so important. That somebody who's coming in, and it's been this way for a while, Jonathan. I think that you're not just interviewing people; they're interviewing you just as much, if not more. When it comes to mission and vision, how have you, or how do you, or what is your mission and vision? Because I think sometimes people don't have it tight enough for people to actually connect to. What is yours?
We have a 5-part vision statement, which isn't at my fingertips, but it includes what I've said about leaving a better planet, creating better people. It talks about our reputation as such, and it talks about our goals, but I don't have that at my fingertips. But it is important to be able to share that. We have 2 sets of statements. One is what we call our outward statements. The other is what we call our inward statements, the ones that we look at and who we want to be. And that's our mission statement, our vision and mission statement, actually. Yeah. And our outward statements are more about who we hope to help you in whatever it is we're doing for you to achieve those goals. I would say that I'm sorry that I can't, I wasn't prepared to read our mission statement right offhand. But you have to live it, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I probably should have it memorized. I'm sorry.
And no worries, no worries. So I have a question. Your company name is called New Energy Works.
Yeah.
You can read that a couple different ways. But what does the name of your company mean?
Thanks for bringing that up. You can read it a few different ways. And if you actually just take the title of the acronym, it's NEW. So we like to use that as well, NEW. So we started out in the early 80s as an installation company. And then we moved into solar energy. The solar energy got a setback in 1984 when Ronald Reagan took the solar panels off the White House and set back the whole industry. And about that time, we were transitioning into more of the installation part than the installation part. And we just ended up deciding that we really liked to build. And as we became builders, we built these homes that had incredible installation on them. And as you might know, if you look at our website, newenergyworks.com, it's the timbers on the inside are structure. We like to say those are structure as craft. They're quite gorgeous. And then we throw the insulation, we wrap the outside of that structure with our envelope, like throwing a blanket over a nice piece of furniture. Everything's cozy inside. And so New Energy Works has evolved into all sorts of different areas of building. The thing that holds us all together, our various departments and our various efforts, is we work with wood and we work with sustainability.
Yeah.
And those two, by the way, are so related because wood is such a great sustainable way to build.
It's great. All right, let's do a quick speed round. A book that's had a big impact on you, Jonathan.
Oh, wow, you didn't prep me for this. Right now I'm reading The Life and Times of Franklin Roosevelt. He changed the way we think about government. I mean, it's a sea change what he did. And so that's been huge recently.
Yeah. Oh, good. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
The best piece of wisdom I've ever received? I've received so many, and I'm going blank right now. That's not fair. My mind is going through. I'm going to circle back.
How about a piece of wisdom you would give an entrepreneur?
Exactly. And I would say that think about the people you work with and your relationship with them as a covenant. Your job is to create a great place to work and sustenance for your family and your life. Their job is to do the job they've been required to do. And so if it's a two-way covenant, then I think that can work. That's a piece of advice and wisdom that was given to me and answers your question.
Yeah. And finish this sentence. One thing everybody can do to tap into their own inner entrepreneur is?
Don't be afraid.
Yeah. All right, good. Tell everybody who your ideal clients are and where they can connect with you.
Anybody who really cares about sustainability and craft, because that's the two things we do together, whether we're building furniture, stairs, or timber frames, which is our main thing. And then in Pioneer Millworks, we're creating Fugi-Bond siding and gorgeous floors. But everything has to be either sustainably harvested or reclaimed wood. And we're doing a lot of it. So NewEnergyWorks.com, PioneerMillworks.com.
Great. Well, hey, Jonathan, I appreciate your time. Thanks for highlighting the importance of people. I think that's always important for people to remember. In community, we talk a lot about, remembering to put people first. That's a really important reminder. Jonathan, I appreciate you taking time to be on the podcast. I think community, you can reach Jonathan. Give him your website one more time.
NewEnergyWorks.com.
All right. And you can reach me. All right. And you can reach me at JonDwoskin.com. Have an awesome day, everybody. Jonathan, thanks so much.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me on.